What's up, meta nerds? This video is all about the Acklay. They're designated as non-sentient, which means that they're scary but dumb, as opposed to the Colicoid, who are terrifying and intelligent. At 1,200 kilograms, or 2,646 pounds, it weighs about as much as a black rhino from Earth, and about 1,000 pounds less than a Rancor. Although it looks like an enormous, menacing insect, its characteristics are actually closer to a reptile, as its body is not covered in a carapace that you would find on a bug, but instead it's more of a lizard-like skin. And an Acklay's skin color usually only ranges from green to brown. They are native to the planet Vendaxa, a planet located out in the expansion region. This planet was constantly bathed in extremely bright light, and so the Acklay, and most other life on this world, developed these very small eyes, and nature selected for the creatures that had other means of detecting prey and predators, which is why the Acklay has a unique organ called a sylphum, which could locate their prey by picking up neuroelectric energy through the cilia, the small hair-like protrusions that were on its claws, neck, and back. Now we saw them on the sandy and rocky planet of Geonosis, but their homeworld consists of lush jungles, grassy plains, and large oceans. Surprisingly, the Acklay actually lives underwater, but would crawl up onto the land, and most frequently hunted a creature known as the lemni, which is described as a small, leathery animal. When an Acklay caught its prey, it usually pinned them with one of its 6 deadly claws, would continue to rip them apart with its other claws, or just go in and start eating it, with its enormous mouth full of razor-sharp teeth. It's important to point out that even these claws are not chitinous in the way that you would think of a crab or a bug, but instead it's just really tough skin right over top of hard bone, something that's very similar to the shell that's found on an armadillo. This tough exterior and 6 clawed legs would also on occasion have to be used for defense, and an Acklay could make itself appear much more intimidating by extending those frills on the back of its neck, raising itself up on those back 4 legs, and unleashing a terrifying roar. All of these traits put it at the top of the food chain on its planet Vendaxa, but it also made them the prime targets of other spacefaring species. Many just like to hunt them for sport. Being the king of the jungle, some people like to brag that they had slain an Acklay, and would prominently display their body parts in their homes. Acklays found their way to Geonosis because the Geonosians would trade droids and other types of machinery to the traders who hunted and collected these animals. Once they had enough on their planet, the Geonosians actually started breeding them, but of course, over time, many escaped. And the Acklay, which remember actually lived underwater, still found a way to survive in this vastly different ecosystem. And one of their main sources of food were actually the worker drones of the Geonosian species. There are terrifying accounts of Acklays being able to sneak into the lower tunnels and gobbling up hundreds of worker drones along the way. Many survived in the Ebon Sea, which is one of the few standing bodies of water on Geonosis, but this water was actually contaminated and actually resulted in some mutations amongst these Acklays. But of course, they weren't just on Geonosis, as many different societies and species took an interest in these terrifying beasts. Many were exported to Felucia, and some were being tested on Yavin 4, and even in personal collections of a Hutt that lived on Naboo, and a doctor on the planet Corellia. And this is stretching it, but perhaps we'll even see the First Order use one, as there were Acklays known to be on the planet Leon, which is located in the unknown regions. Well, that's it for the Acklay, but you definitely want to hear these cool facts and behind the scenes stuff. We have an Acklay today because of George Lucas's amazing request, telling one of his creature concept designers that he wanted a new creature that was a combination of a praying mantis and a velociraptor. As they worked through different iterations of this monster, they later added on features that they would describe as lobster-like. And when actually creating the Acklay model, they used dried up fruits and vegetables to create the texture of the Acklay skin. And to figure out the right color scheme, they took inspiration from dried melons. When filming the Acklay's fight with Obi-Wan, Lucas took inspiration from the movie Mysterious Island, in which there was a sailor who ends up fighting a giant crab with a spear. And last but not least, in order to make the cry of an Acklay, sound designers combined that of a dolphin and a pig. So that's it for the Acklay species. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want to check out our social media, or ways that you can help support this channel, be sure to check out the description down below. If you want to see more, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and hit the bell icon so that you get notifications. But more important than all that, remember, it's hard to make the biology of something make sense when you take inspiration from a praying mantis, velociraptor, and a lobster. And the Force will be with you, always.